Hey, this is Ben, and I'm playing some WWE 2K14, and this is going to be a commentary about John Cena, part one of my two-part WWE commentary. So John Cena, you love him, you hate him, whatever your preference, you know, he's around. And he's going to be around for a while, and he's been around for a while, and he's here to stay. But the problem is, a lot of people don't like Cena. More people don't like Cena compared to those who like him. So, then, what can the WWE do to fix him? What can they do to make more money off of Cena than they've had in recent years? Because, let's face it, they've been losing money on this guy. He's not selling as much merchandise as, like, when he was popular back in the, late 2000 decade. And by late 2000 decade, I mean like 2006 to mid 2000s. Anyway, so there are a few changes that I would like to see made to Cena, and so let's just talk about those right now. First change is his music. When he started in the WWE, he had his rapper gimmick. He had a nice rap song, and I liked Basic Thugonomics. That was a good theme song, and in my opinion. If you don't like it, that's fine. But I thought it was a good theme song. I thought it was well done, it was really good, and it fit his gimmick perfectly. Then he changed his theme song to the current one that he has. And I like that one too. Not as much, but, you know, it still fit his personality. It was still rap, you know? It still fit. And that was fine. But now, he's doing the whole Super Cena, as people on the internet like to call it, and myself included, gimmick. His hustle, loyalty, respect gimmick, as it's, you know, currently called. And that's one thing that, like, doesn't match up. It just doesn't match up. That song with that character doesn't match up. So, one of two things needs to happen with the music. It either has to show the positive message Cena is doing now, or it needs to go back to a Basic Thugonomics. And if that happens, or a different rap, or stay the same, just something that has to do with his personality. Keep it with the personality. And that leads into the second change, a heel turn. Like, everybody wants a heel turn, except for, like, the little kids and the moms, you know? Like, all us wrestling fans that are hardcore wrestling fans that have watched during the Attitude Era, or the Ruthless Aggression Era, or just, like, watched wrestling a lot in general, we want to see a John Cena heel turn, myself included, because I think it would be what would be best for businesses. The Authority likes to say these days. So, and we're not the only ones that want this. WWE has kind of wanted to do a heel turn for John Cena for a while, but they are afraid of them losing money off of it, which they won't, because more people want to see the heel turn than want to see Cena as he is now. And they're also worried they're going to lose a couple fans of Cena, that, you know, the kids are not going to like him anymore, that's not going to go over well, it's going to make their message for, like, the Make-A-Wish thing weaker, which it won't, because they've had heels like, you know, Kane and stuff like that. They've had lots of superstars, heel or face, that have done things with the charity. So, I think the heel turn would be the best for Cena, but, like, one problem is they can't make it too obvious. It needs to be a surprise, and that's one problem that they've had in doing it. They want to make it a surprise. They want to make it something that is not expected. So, going to Payback with the Last Man Standing match, which is the match type I'm playing, by the way. I didn't mention that earlier. Then, you know, that would be too obvious. Bray Wyatt, you know, fights Cena, and then he turns heel because John Cena lost, or something. I don't know. That'd be obvious. You know, it would make sense, but it'd be too obvious. And so, if I was working at the WWE, I would do it like this. I would have done it like he loses or wins at Payback. I don't know the result. Hopefully he loses. But whatever the case is, Payback happens. He wins or loses. The feud with Bray Wyatt ends there. He goes into Money in the Bank and he participates in the ladder match. I'm not going to let this match end right now. So, he goes into the ladder match and he loses the ladder match because of some reason or another, okay? This is how I'd personally do it. He loses the ladder match, and what happens next is he gets mad because he should have won. but something happens with another superstar, like either somebody interferes that shouldn't have, or something happens, maybe with the Authority, making it so that way they don't want Cena to win, they want to keep, like, Orton or somebody in the Authority or Evolution, you know, like, to win the match. That's when Cena turns heel right there. In that moment, when he loses the ladder match, that's when I would personally make it so that way he turns heel, or the change happens. And that's like something that will really help John Cena out. That's a big change that needs to happen to Cena. The next change is to get rid of the whole he wins all the time thing. And this is the third change I would make, and the third and final change. These are like the three big changes that I want to see to happen. Cena has always been, especially in recent years, and especially in years prior, he's been the guy that always wins. He's always just won. He always is the champion a lot, you know. And he always comes back, and he's always there. So if we can make it so that way he only wins occasionally, like everybody else, that would be a lot better. Because let's face it, the last time he won a championship was the World Heavyweight Championship after he came back from an injury. Excuse me. But that still screams Super Cena, because he was supposed to be gone for 3 months. He came back at like 1 or 2, and then he beats Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight Championship just like that. You know, that's Super Cena to a T, right there. And that was a huge issue I had, is that you just came back from injury and you just lost. You know, you just. Well, no, let me rephrase that. You lost to Daniel Bryan, then he lost to Randy Orton through Money in the Bank. You are gone. You said you'd be gone. You came back early, and then you win again. You know, that was a problem. I mean, at least you lost to Randy Orton. You know, that was at least something that they did right. And WWE knows that they've always let Cena win. They've always made it so that way Cena's the top guy. And they've been doing a lot and lots of that. You know, CM Punk was champion for 300 or whatever days it was. How long it was. So that was a whole, like, year plus that Cena wasn't the champion. He was relevant, but he still wasn't the champion. And that's nice, you know, that's how it should be. Cena's relevant, but he's not the champion. And I think that's how it should be done and how it should be handled. Because that would be what's best. So, get rid of the whole Super Cena gimmick and make it so that way he wins the championship every now and again. But also make it so that way it's not like a year-long thing. Make it so that way he's champion for like a month or 2 while he's a heel, or maybe even 3 if you really want to push it. And then make it so that way he can have some title shots too, but he doesn't always win, you know? He can lose some. And that's the last change I would make to John Cena, of the major changes. So, to recap, change the music to fit his personality more, turn him heel, and then make it so that way he's less of a superhero and more of an actual human being that can lose, not the guy that's always going to win. You know, he may be the supposed best guy. He may be like the one that everybody says, you know, he's going to be like one of the greats. And he is. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's going to be really great in the future. But the problem is he always wins. Like, if you look back, people never always won. You know, he's like one of the first guys that always won. Maybe Hulk Hogan, but even then he lost a couple, and he also wasn't champion all the time. So those are the 3 major changes, and that's what I would like to see change in John Cena, and that's what I think would be best for the WWE to do to John Cena and to his character. And that is all for this part. Part 2, we'll talk about the WWE as a whole and what they need to do, because they've been having some issues lately.